Uh, the good old narrative, the tech world's narrative. I recently put out a video letting you guys know how I felt about the Pixel Fold, and if it's coming, when it's coming. It's going to be probably pretty nice, I will hope. But in general, right now in the U.S., there is no competition for the Fold devices from Samsung. These are, in fact, the kings of folding devices within the U.S. market. Samsung hasn't really gotten any competition from anyone. So why would Samsung be worried about the Pixel Fold on its first generation? In fact, I don't think Samsung even cared that Microsoft brought out the Surface Duo because Samsung is well established. Now, this isn't a video to praise Samsung. It's more along the lines of think for yourself. I personally don't think that Samsung has any worries about Pixel and about Google and their Pixel Fold. This is the current narrative, though. Samsung has already established themselves to show everybody that they know how to do a folding device. This is a phenomenal phone. And the only reason I haven't picked up any of the other folding devices from outside the US is because, for one, I don't know how it's going to do long term. I don't know what it's going to be like. I could try it, yes. I know I've done imports. I love imports. But I have some concerns about the current imports and the pricing. They cost the same, if not more, than the Samsung Z Fold 4. Probably will cost more than the 5 too. And it's not designed for our market, basically. I live in the U.S., simply put. As I speak here, finally getting my update. I've been waiting on this update for a long time. This is the second April update, and it brings some device stabilities, new and enhancement features, improvements to performance, and things like that. And it gives a camera and gallery update, which is really nice. So this is another thing I'm concerned about. I know imports get updates, but there's no guarantee I'm going to get an update. There's no guaranteed support. I've actually dealt with doing a warranty exchange for an import device. While it's not horribly bad, it's not hard or difficult or anything like that. It's just I have to go through the original seller, and they're not always that nice because they are the ones who actually have to file all the paperwork and do the work for you, basically. So I just don't want to dip in that pond yet. While I do wish that a lot of the other imports would come to the U.S., it's disappointing to know that the import market has pretty much just been blackballed out of the U.S., and I think that's sad because Samsung should have competition. But the thought that Samsung has moved their date upwards because of the Pixel device launching, I don't know. Unless Samsung has gotten a hands-on copy of this device and it's just going to blow everybody away, and they feel like we better hurry up and put our device out so we can grab some of these market shares. I doubt that very seriously. Now I know all these companies do kind of try to get a sneak peek at each other's work, but I don't anticipate Samsung being that weak, I guess. I think Samsung has established himself enough, once again for the third time. They don't need to chase after other companies that are just now starting to get started on their grind in an area. We're on number 5 for Samsung. The next device coming is the Fold 5. Now there are some dimensions that leak out that kind of hint towards a shorter device. But I don't think I'm hoping that it is a little shorter, but not too short, and a little bit wider. A lot of people feel like the Apple Find N devices are like the perfect size because it's easy in the pocket, and then it still folds away into a nice size phone. So it folds open into a nice tablet, and it folds away as a nice size phone that you can easily put into any pocket. But I don't think that Samsung will deviate too much from this current design right here. I actually hope that they don't go too far off to the left. But if they do, it is what it is. We're just going to have to deal with it, and we will grow accustomed to it. We will get used to it, just like we got used to this aspect ratio right here when they first announced it. So the fact that some people think that Samsung's really making this shift in their date, or they're going to push forward their launch because they're so worried about Google's device coming out, I doubt that very seriously. Now, I'm not saying that they don't really trust the market, and they're not watching everything. I'm not saying they're not checking the boards and seeing, oh, what are people putting out, what's coming. That's obviously something that I would do as well if I were on top. Because whether you want to deny it or accept it or not, or you want to stay in denial, whoever you are, Samsung is on top in the U.S. of the folding game, because there are no other companies out here in the U.S. that are putting out folding devices officially. So that is why Samsung should not worry, and they're probably not worried about Google's Pixel device coming out folding. They'll probably, they might just be doing it to check pricing. Who knows? There's someone out there that's always reporting back, and we don't know what Google's pricing on their Pixel Fold is going to be. Should it be close to what the current devices are? Who cares? I mean, they're going to release it to what they want to release it to. But the fact that some think that Samsung is a little shaky and worried about Google's Pixel folding device, just think about that for a second. I'm on top, and I know when you're on top, the only way you can go is down. However, Samsung has been on top for a long time, and if Google comes along with its first generation Pixel Fold device and shuts down all of the software things that are going on here with Samsung, that's going to be a miracle. That's going to take a miracle to pull all these Samsung Fold users over to Google. It's going to take a whole bunch. They're going to have to come with something like their folding device has a pen slot into the device. That actually would be really clutch if they did that to Samsung and pulled the trigger on that before Samsung could do it, because everyone wants Samsung to put the pen inside the device, and everyone wants Samsung to be able to have pen access on the front of the display. What if Google decides this is what we're going to do? Maybe Samsung got wind of some things. These companies have a lot of money. I'm sure they'll pay the right amount of money to see what's going on the other side of the coin. But in reality, for me, I don't think Samsung is one bit worried about Google is in their Pixel folding device. I don't think they even care, to be honest. I think a lot of times people start these narratives because the competition should always be with yourself. You need to be competing against yourself when it comes to whatever you're doing. If you're putting out content on YouTube, don't worry too much about what the next person is doing. Focus on what your last video did, or the last 10 videos, things like that. Get yourself some numbers put together to see where you could improve. And with Samsung, with the Fold lineup, they're just getting better and better. So I don't anticipate Samsung going bad or doing really bad on the Fold 5, because they have so many loyal Fold users. There are tons of people that use the Fold over the S23 that's sitting over there. I just feel like, well, if we're going to start a narrative, let's be realistic about it. That's what I have to say about that. Samsung will, in fact, drop the Fold 5. There are rumors that they're pushing the date up. And I think that it might even be official at the recording of this video by now, but it's going to be closer to around the time that Google launches their Pixel Fold. And in reality, folks, this is better for us when companies compete, because they're going to be in this price war, and it's going to go back and forth and back and forth. They want to outdo each other, and in the end, hopefully the prices go down and we win, and we get to purchase lots of high-end technology at a very good cost. Now, whether this device will be under $1,500, who knows? I'm really hoping. It would have been nice if the Apple Find N would have made its way to the US officially on a carrier, or just sold an unlocked version, or just something. It would have been really nice to see that happen, because that form factor it was promising, but there were just too many things about the Find N, the Apple Find N, that people just said outright they just can't figure out how to work. I need to figure out how this works. I had to change this. I had to change that. I'm not into that when I spend that kind of money on something. I used to be that tinkerer, but now it needs to come out of the box and it needs to work, especially if I'm going over $400. And that's just no excuse for that. So a folding device in the US, there's no competition really for Samsung at all. There's none. So if Google's coming with their folding device, let's applaud that. Now, but I still don't believe that Samsung is so worried about Google that they're going to push their dates around just to try to grab some of the market share that they already have. They are running the folding game in the US, so what else do they need to do? All they have to do is keep doing the right things, give the consumers what they want. They're doing it slowly but surely, but just keep going in the right direction. And those same followers, just like iPhone followers, buying pretty much the same device over and over again, will continue to buy the same device over and over again. Samsung needs to make some improvements to this device. I've said it a bunch of times, and maybe this Fold 5 will in fact do that. So regardless of why they moved their date up, or if they're going to move it up at all, if they're going to make this change, I don't think it has anything to do with Google. It's your man Jay. If you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.